everyone. It is Thursday. Thursday, I tell you. Yes, it is. No, it's Wednesday. I don't know what day it is. It's Wednesday. I really practiced this before. You guys aren't going to count on me for what day of the week it is anymore, that's for sure. It is Wednesday, people. Welcome to Wednesday. How are you today? How are you today? What are you grateful for this Wednesday night? It is Wednesday. The last and final day of June. It is Hump Day. Hey, Kitty, how are you tonight? How are things in? What are you grateful for this Wednesday night? Hang on a second. I gotta go throw that in here. What is happening in everybody's world tonight? I can't guarantee. Just as a heads up to everybody, we have been getting those storms that are supposed to cool us off. And so we have had a very inconsistent internet connection tonight. So I make no guarantees that our broadcast really lasts. Yuck. We've just had heavy storms tonight. I mean, it's been unbelievable. Unbelievable storms. We sat in the sunroom and watched the lightning all around us tonight and had dinner. Hello, Adele and Dazzle. Dazzle, it is treat time on this hump day. It's been a hard week for Dazzle with all this rain. It is good to have you all here. But, yeah, I make no guarantees. I waited for some of the stuff to pass to see if we'll get some sort of consistent connection tonight. So we're going to give it a try. Yeah, wow. I have images in my head of how high your grass is, Kitty. We have just had buckets. We said we didn't have to water the garden tonight. We didn't have to water the garden for Nana tonight. Yeah, we just keep on having big storms come through, and I hear the rain starting to kick up again. So it is kind of cuckoo, but if that brings us a little bit cooler weather, I'll take it. We are broadcasting on both Facebook and YouTube tonight, but I make no guarantees if we lose our connection that I'll get it back on any of them. Rebecca's been trying to work tonight and had all sorts of issues. So you need power and internet in today's world, people. You need power and internet. Your flowers look awesome. That is great. Hey, Kelly, how are you this Wednesday night? Happy Wednesday to you. This is Wednesday round 2 for you. It is. Let's get started, folks, with the Good Morning, Good Night book, because I feel like I am on storm time tonight. I'm on storm time, and if I don't try to get out ahead of the storm, I feel like I am a storm racer, where the storm is right at my back. Thank you, Kelly. Cassandra's having a nice birthday. We're having margaritas and Mexican tonight. Margaritas and Mexican for dinner tonight. Special dessert for tonight. Special dessert after the show. Yes, we will. Let's in the Good Morning, Good Night book tonight. We're on page 20. Page 20. You are so loved, and we like having you around. I'm tying one end of this sentence to your heart, the other end to everyone who loves you, even the ones you haven't heard from in a while. I'm checking the knots there. Stay put. Yes, it's one of the great things of our normal conference time this time of year. I'm usually able to take Cassandra to fancy hotels and exotic places and have everybody stand up and wish her a happy birthday. And here we are virtual, and we'll be virtual in August, but it's just a stepping stone to being back in person, people. Just a stepping stone to get us back in person, and I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. Want to keep everybody safe, but I am looking forward to being back in person when we can, and we will. I love this quote from Simon. Hopefully soon, Julie. Yes, I am hoping soon. I got scared today during one of the meetings for one of the committees I'm on with the National Retail Federation, and they said, well, we've got the date set for our official meeting in September of 22 in person. And I'm like, September of 2022, that's a long way away. I'm glad we have an official in-person meeting scheduled, but we can work in some in-person time before that, There's got to be, there's always something we can do a little more, in person. But everybody's adjusting. Our quote from Simon tonight. Don't freak out over what other people have. They don't have what you have. Don't freak out over what other people have. They don't have what you have. So often I have to, throw that quote out there. A quote similar to that is, you all try to compare yourself to others. Just try to beat yourself. Just try to be better than you were before. It's an old Andrew Carnegie thing, in his plants, one of his steel plants, one time he walked into his steel plant and he's asked the foreman, how much steel can we make in a shift? And he said, sir, we can do a ton of steel, 1 ton. And so he got out a can of paint and he painted a great big 1 on the floor. The next shift at the same plant came in and he's like, what the heck? The foreman for that shift was like, what the heck is this 1 doing on the floor? Who the heck painted all over my floor? And the guy's like, Mr. Carnegie painted that, sir. Well, what's the 1 mean? That we're number 1? No, he asked how much steel we can do in a shift. And I told him 1 ton. And so at the end, at the next shift came on, and the 1 was crossed out and there was a 2 there. And the shift foreman asked, what's the 2? What's the crossed out 1? And and the shift foreman was told, well, Mr. Carnegie put the 1 there, and because we can do 1 ton of steel on a shift. And then the second shift came on, and they did 2 tons of steel. And so they crossed out the 1 and said, we can do 2. Yeah, they beat themselves. They beat their own team. That is how you make things happen, people. That is how you make things happen. And that story went on and on, okay? That story went on and on. But that is how you make things happen. That is how you improve yourself, okay? When you're trying to compare yourself to the other team, to the other store, to what other people are doing, they're not you. They don't got what you got, okay? Don't do it. Worry about you. You're number 1. You're the governor. You make things happen. So don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. I'm trying not to get into anything heavy tonight and continue our heavy topic because I'm fully expecting my internet to go down. So I'm not ignoring our homework. I'm not ignoring what we said we'd do. I'm just trying to maintain our connection while we have it. And so I'm not going into deep stuff. Although some of the stuff I'm covering is pretty important. Hey, Michelle, it is great to have you here on this Wednesday night. It's hump day, people. It's hump day. Okay. An interesting decision by the Colorado Supreme Court that could have issues elsewhere. Other courts could start to follow this. It is Cassandra's birthday. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. It is. It's the day of Cassandra. But isn't every day a day that I celebrate Cassandra? I think so. The Colorado Supreme Court ruled that employers can't have use it or lose it vacation policies. So the Colorado Supreme Court just, I could have a short update and give Cassandra a dessert early. Well, we're going to go to dessert. I got to wait for Rebecca to finish work too, but we have special dessert tonight. Cassandra doesn't even know what we have for dessert tonight. It's a surprise. Thank you, Kitty. So in Colorado, the Colorado Supreme Court has ruled you can't maintain use it or lose it vacation pay policies. And I know not a lot of us, not everybody offers vacation pay or holiday pay or other things. But the ruling is interesting because of the rumbles that it could have for other court cases throughout the country. Because there could be copycat lawsuits to that trying to enforce that. So I just throw that out there for the back of your head. I know we have an audience in Colorado, and it's important to be aware of litigation that could spill over into other states. I can't cover every state, but this was a big one. This was a big one for use it or lose it policies. I thought this was really interesting. So I mentioned I had a big National Retail Federation meeting today, an update on things. And one of the things that they've been working with OSHA on, because OSHA has, worked on an emergency temporary standard, which really right now only applies to healthcare, and that has really narrowed things. But one of the arguments they've been working from is that businesses, you as a small business, don't have a COVID spreading machine in your store. You don't have a COVID spreading machine spreading COVID throughout your store. So, the fact that you allow people to breathe in your store doesn't make you guilty of spreading COVID. So I appreciate the argument in that, and I appreciate what they're doing to protect small businesses. So I did want to keep you in the loop on that. That is one of the central arguments, is that protecting businesses and how businesses can't be held liable is that you don't have a piece of equipment. You don't have asbestos falling in or people inhaling asbestos or chemicals or other things. You don't have a COVID spreading machine spreading throughout your stores. So I very much appreciated that argument. There is also new legislation, okay, about the extra $300 that people are earning. And there is legislation that has been introduced to instead of the $300, if you choose to get a job. So the $300 expires in September, the extra $300. So there is legislation before Congress now to say if you get a job, if you were to go and get a job now, you're collecting the extra $300, but if you go get a job, they'll give you a $180 bonus between now and September when the $300 expires, instead of collecting the $300. So the government will give you $180 to get a job between now and September. I don't know if this legislation will pass. There is bipartisan support for it. I don't know if it'll get out and actually pass, or that there's even really time to make that happen for when Congress comes back in session after the July 4th recess and before they go out on the August recess. So I'm not holding my breath on that one, but there is bipartisan support for it. People like it. So that is some good legislation. Excuse me. Okay. There is also, that's one big thing. Legislation. I'm trying to go through my notes here. I will have more on the two network processing cards that the Fed is looking for our feedback on. The Federal Reserve System, our buddy Jerome Powell and stuff are looking for input from small businesses on this. And I will have an action link that I'll be posting in the coming days on that so that you can click through and send your feedback that you would be for having multiple networks. So part of this is think of it as a transaction that your card could go over the debit network like Pulse or Star or Shazam versus the Visa network. Okay, the Visa network costs like this, the Pulse network costs like this. So think of it like that. I will have more info and a direct link where you'll be able to send your input directly to the Fed. There'll be a pre-filled out form for you, and you can add your information in your thing. These things do matter, okay? It matters, and the Fed is taking this up in the beginning of August, so that is very important. As we continue to work on inventory, the cost of containers is continuing to get ridiculous. Again, a year ago, it cost $3,500, $4,000 to get from Asia to the United States. $3,500, $4,000 get from Asia to the United States. Okay, it jumped up to like $12,000, from $3,000 to $4,000 to $12,000. And now everyday prices are $16,000, $17,000. I have colleagues that just paid $20,000 to get a container from China that they would have spent $4,000 on just a year ago, and for years before that. So it's not just that. Plus, they're paying huge overages once it gets to port. They pay charges based on how long it's sitting there until it gets on a truck. Okay, you have to unload a container very fast. You have to move your container. So the whole supply chain is broken. So now they get it off the ship, and you're paying storage, ridiculous rates for storage there in the port, while you're waiting for a truck to get in to get it. So the cost of goods are going up. The cost to consumers are going up. It is especially affecting industries with pre-orders, are really taking it on the chin, and they're passing it through in higher prices up front. Think of things that you would order in advance or special order. Think of furniture or other large items that you would pre-order. I was working with a company that sells boats. Okay, there's a long lead time on that. Okay, and the price you quoted 8 months ago is not reflective of the price of what it lands here on. And so they're having to try to figure out, what is this going to cost me to get here 8 months from now? So it is really, really ridiculous out there. But that's affecting inventory and supply chain, which again is why your inventory and supply chain is so important. And that's why we've been talking about it so much, about your inventory and upping your inventory, because quite honestly, the third and fourth quarter is not looking good for traditional retail because of supply chain issues, and it's a long time. The bullwhip on this effect, and I'll go into it more as we continue to talk about your inventory. But the effect on this is a long-ranging game. Okay, there will eventually be too much supply. Okay, but we're nowhere near that right now. So we got to be ready to take advantage of it. And that is the big news from our friends on Capitol Hill. And hang on, I need my glasses for this. I love this quote. I love this quote because it's so important for small business owners. So important. To start, we need to change one simple word. Change why to what. To start, to take that first step, change one word. Why to what. Think about that. Think about that. And while you're thinking about it, think that this video and everything I talk about goes over to nards.org/resalestrong by noon the next day. Noon, I tell you. It all goes over there. All the files, all the links, and a direct link to this video on the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, ring the bell. Ring that bell so you know when a new one drops. You can also share it with all your friends in business. Butcher, baker, candlestick maker. We want to help everybody make it to the other side. I'm here every night at 8-ish live in the Nards private Facebook group and streaming on YouTube. But if you have a question in between, you just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com. Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is where we started every night. If you were not here at the top of the program, our good morning today was good morning. You are so loved, and we like having you around. I'm tying one end of this sentence to your heart, the other one to everyone who loves you, even the ones you haven't heard from in a while. I'm checking those knots. There, stay put, you. Our good night tonight is good night. You're so loved, and we like having you around. I'm tying one end of the sentence to your heart, the other end to everyone who loves you in this life, even if the clouds obscure your eyes. I'm checking the knots. There, stay put, you. Tug if you need anything. There's your graphic, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, a happy birthday Cassandra party. We will party again in person. We will. And when we do, I'm going to be there with you. But until then, and until tomorrow night at 8-ish, know that you and you, but especially you, yes, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. It's time for birthday.